We're just a few hours away from the full Senate confirmation vote for one of President Trump's most controversial nominees, Tulsi Gabbard, for Director of National Intelligence. She cleared a key hurdle in a test vote last night, with all Republicans present voting yes. It came despite vocal concerns from Democrats and some Republicans that she's unfit for the job. Joining us now, a member of the House Intelligence Committee and Army veteran, Democratic Congressman Jason Crow. Good to have you back on the program. This is one of Donald Trump's picks that we kept hearing, probably would have trouble getting through, right? But if you heard anything, talk to anyone that suggests to you she will not be confirmed.
I haven't heard anything that would suggest she wouldn't be confirmed. And to me, that just tells us how far so many people in this town have fallen and how the standards have changed. Just a couple of years ago, there was no chance that somebody like this would have been confirmed for our top intelligence officer in our country, responsible for keeping America safe, responsible for the intelligence for our allies and for our troops, a position that requires, deep expertise and experience. It's a real problem.
Whether or not she is confirmed, Congressman, Donald Trump will, of course, overwhelmingly have the cabinet he wants doing for him what he wants. So what's the backstop when so many in your party have expressed concerns about illegality, about attacks on the Constitution? Are you counting on the courts?
Well, litigation is certainly one tool. The other is organizing and mobilizing and communicating, right? We are drawing attention to what's happening. We're taking our case across America. I'm taking it back to Colorado to my constituents, and we're telling people what is and is not being done in their name. I'm communicating all the time with Coloradans, talking to them about, all the culture warfare that the Trump administration and Republicans in Congress are focusing on, and the fact that they're doing absolutely nothing right now to try to reduce the cost of groceries, to try to reduce the cost of housing, to do the things that everybody expects us to be doing. So, we are communicating, we're mobilizing. We have, 1,439 days left of the Trump administration. So we are building that infrastructure now to push back and to hold them accountable.
Here's something that I think, surprised a lot of people, specifically on the economy, which you say you're talking to your constituents about. And things are bad when we're covering stories like egg heists. But in the new CBS News YouGov poll, Donald Trump's approval ratings are up, even though a majority of those same people think his policies are making food prices go up. How do you stop someone who now has the support of 53% of Americans when he says, I'm doing what voters hired me to do, and at least according to that poll, they're not blaming him in the way that they blame Joe Biden or Kamala Harris for high prices?
Well, first of all, let's not be confused about what those poll numbers are showing and what they're not. Donald Trump has still got one of the historically lowest approval ratings for a new president in the history of America, right? Joe Biden came into office in 2021 with a 57% approval rating to start, right, which is much higher than Donald Trump is right now. And Donald Trump is in the honeymoon phase of his presidency, right? And he's still historically low. So because they're in the honeymoon phase, he doesn't yet own the consequences of all of these policies, which are overwhelmingly unpopular and will be devastating for working class Americans, from the cost of goods to our national security to our public safety, almost across the board. So he will own it. He will own it very soon. And that honeymoon phase will be over very soon.
We'll see. Democrats don't seem to have a lot of cards to play right now, but one that's been talked about, a leverage point, is not signing off on a budget, which could force a government shutdown. Are you willing to do that, and under what circumstances?
Well, of course, we're not going to pass a budget that actually is going to make things worse for America and make things worse for my constituents. So we have to see. I mean, I have not seen the budget because Republicans are very, very late. The House Republicans actually have not disclosed any budget and even the framework for a budget yet. So this is governing, right? Governing is not easy. It's hard. Republicans have a really hard time figuring out how to do that. In fact, so long as Republicans have been in charge of the House of Representatives, it's always been the Democrats that have come and actually got a budget and passed the budget to keep our government running. So we're going to see in short order whether or not they can put anything together.
But if it comes to that, you're willing to consider a shutdown?
Well, we have to see what's in the budget, right? It makes no sense to say shutdown or no shutdown until there's even a framework for what a budget looks like, right? I'm not going to pass something that's going to make Americans' lives worse and is going to be a blank check to the Trump administration, right? I have an independent obligation as a member of Congress to make sure I'm serving my constituents and I'm serving the country, and that's what I'm going to do.